I need to find which one of my Chrome windows this is opening.
Don't worry, it should make some noise pretty soon.
No, I have them all muted.
Ah, there you
So
go.
that's the best thing, is like I literally don't know which one it is. Why do I always end up with like 50,000 tabs open?
I don't know, man.
I honestly think I have my TA homepage open on every Chrome window I have open about 3 times.
Yeah. There's always something I have like that where it's like, oh, I have Twitter open 4 times. Cool. Okay. That makes sense.
Like, here's a throwback for you. I have a tab open in my streaming thing, which is literally to remind me that I need to check out the band Lilt based on Game Club like 2-3 months ago.
Right.
When they were on it. I'm looking at it right now, like there's the music video for one of their songs to remind me to actually look into that at some point.
I forgot about that. I need to go back and listen to that band more. I'm really liking them. Real quick, before I forget, and also because it just came in the mail and I'm remembering. So my sister did a kid's book called
nice.
Otis the Donkey Pegasus. She is an artist. It's like $12 on Amazon. Written and illustrated by Colleen Stiles is her name. So just a fun little kid's book about a donkey getting Pegasus wings.
What's the book called again?
Otis the Donkey Pegasus, what donkey is looks
Donkey
like.
Sis.
Oh,
I'm not sure which will turn up the thing, but it's been out for a little bit, and I just recently got basically an Amazon gift card to be able to afford it. But
Amazon has listed it as Otis the Donkey Sis, Donkey S-U-S.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You can also search for Colleen Stiles, S-T-I-L-E-S. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, nice. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, she's a really, really good artist. I mean, she does it. She's a graphic designer for a living. Designs a like a product manual for a furniture company type thing. But like in her off time, she does all this really crazy cool art. She's given me some of it for my house, and like she'll do these giant like body casts and turn them into like these giant mermaid or whatever people. And for a while, she was storing one in our house, and it was covered by like a clear plastic drape thing, and it scared the crap out of me. Yes, every time I went downstairs, I was like, "Holy crap! Is this Dexter?" No, okay, it's fine.
Dexter's coming for me. I've done bad things.
It was pretty good. Oh, jeez.
All right, well, let's buy a copy of Otis the Donkey Sis here. My kid will love it.
I will pick up a copy for my niece and, well, my nephew-in-law. He's probably the youngest one.
Thanks, guys. This will appreciate it. I still have not read it. I literally got it in when we were setting up the podcast.
Yeah, so you come back in with that sweet Amazon Prime white envelope packaging that you had there with the blue trim.
The Amazon Prime package.
See?
Oh, man.
I know my packaging.
We just got an Amazon center in Tulsa recently, so like I'm still tripping out on this. Like, we will randomly
same day bullshit.
Yeah, randomly get same day stuff or next day stuff, whereas I only qualify for free 2 day stuff. So it's very like today I got 3 Amazon shipments at different times of the day off of the same order I did yesterday because I got a bunch of gift cards. But anywho.
Oh, hey, Boston.
Yes, sir.
And maybe you as well, Musim. Talk me out of buying Dragon Ball Kakarot, please.
Oh, God, please don't. Oh,
Everyone
my God, the
says it's
reviews on this.
terrible.
Do you love Superman 64? If you do...
I've never played Superman 64.
Yeah, because it's a bad game.
But I'm like a huge fan of Dragon Ball, and seeing like ridiculously big Dragon Ball fans be like, look, there's Oolong hiding behind a bush reading porn.
Right.
Like,
and there's like that...
It's like that super deep cut, and it's like...
There's that dinosaur from, like, regular Dragon Ball. Here's the thing, though. I bet if you give it a month, I bet it'll be $30.
Probably.
That price is going to crash hard.
Yeah, I know.
I bet you can give it a week and it'll be $40. Like, it's gonna plummet.
Okay, 12 days, and then I'll figure out what I want to do on that day.
Well, and also keep in mind, like, so like that Fist of the North Star, that last RPG game, brawler, whatever that they came out with, like last month there was like a week where you could have gotten it for $5 at Best Buy, and I missed that window unfortunately. But like even right now, it's like 15 to 20. So I think it's going to be one of those games that you just gotta, once it gets down to that price range, buy it before it becomes a collector's item.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and
for me,
honestly, with as bad as it is, then maybe it won't become a collector's item.
True. Yeah. I mean, I buy everything digital, but there are a few exceptions to that rule, and it's like when games go like super discount when they're not discounted digitally.
Yeah.
If I can get multiple factors. Number one, will Jess want to play at the same time I'm playing it? It's anime? No, she won't. She won't want to touch this thing with a 10-foot barge pole. Number two, is it multiplayer? As far as I can see, no, it's not, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
She wouldn't be interested in playing it multiplayer with me anyway. See statement number one. So I can get this on disc. I just need to stop myself from doing so.
Plus, you have so many other really great games to play.
Yeah, I know. And then there's this game from today that took me way too long to play.
Walmart already has it for $50. So,
okay, I'll wait a couple of weeks and see what it's like.
Yeah, I think in a couple of weeks you'll be pretty good.
Honestly, if you want an anime JRPG, then you should go pick up Tokyo Mirage Sessions for Switch.
I know, but it's also well, number one, the Switch is my wife's, so my playtime on that is kind of limited.
Yeah,
but also it's how much of a super nerd I am about Dragon Ball. Like it's how much of a like it's one of those things where it's like for me the three things: Dragon Ball, Stargate, and Dune. Like if you put anything in those three universes, I'm like inject it into my veins.
Whoops, I already bought it on Amazon.
Everybody's got one. I mean, I'm just gonna whisper this word and hope Musum doesn't hear it. Gundams and giant mechs. like stuff
Someone
like that.
Called?
like
No, I didn't buy a copy of Gundam Versus, play it once, and just leave it on the shelf because I had to own every Gundam game.
Right. Yes. This is
we all have
exactly
at
what
least
I'm
one.
talking about. Yes, Destiny.
Although
2.
I did resist buying the Gundam Builder game. I forgot what it was called.
No, yeah, I don't remember what that's called.
I talked myself out of it somehow. But that one is also just, I'm gonna buy it the second I see it for $10 to $20 on a shelf.
Yeah.
Like for that type of stuff, it's like I want a new front mission game, a proper front mission game.
Yeah.
Let me elaborate on that really quick so that the more recent entries don't get bumped into that list.
And I bought that thing, and I don't even know if I've taken it out of the package, but it said the words front mission on it, and I bought it.
Yeah.
I didn't yet, and then I saw the Giant Bomb Crew play it, which is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like, there is, if you go, you need to go check out this video, folks. I think it's in their best of 2019 stuff. It's like the first opening video for it, because it's literally, there is an AI guide. There is a stealth section in the game when you're not in the tank, number one.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out how to stealth kill this guy. They can't because there's no tutorials or prompts. And then he spots them. They're hiding behind a van, and the dude jumps on top of the van and starts shooting them from above.
Appears. I thought that was Left Alive. That was that quick.
I don't even know.
Left Alive is a front mission game.
Yeah, it's
what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learn something new every day. All right.
Yep.
That's a bummer. How much
Why
is Left Alive now?
I know.
Not
See,
much.
Now he's doing it too.
Best Buy has it for $17.98.
See, I can't do it because I've still got Battle Chasers Night War shrink wrapped from when it was on that deep discount 2 years ago when Boston pointed it out to me. I was like, yeah, it's $10. I'll pick it up and play it.
That's a steal.
2 years later, and I still haven't played it.
Yeah, that game is good.
Yeah, I got some. Gosh, I hate thinking about the shrink wrap stuff. So I just got because as I said, I got a bunch of Amazon gift cards, right? So I bought a bunch of crap. Like I bought a plug strip that has 24 outlets on it that I'm going to mount on my wall and clean up my cabling behind my TV.
Yeah, there you go.
And
for our living room, I had to get one of those, but I had to get one that's like half size and it's got like plugs on both sides, but the plugs rotate outwards. And I also had to make sure it had a top of the line surge protector in because we already lost a chest freeze in this house. Thank you, electrics.
Yeah.
And literally, it's just this tank that sits in the corner of the living room because there's like 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes.
Just don't look at it.
Everything is plugged into this thing. It's like, please don't break.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't have a surge protector, but my intention is to eventually get like one of those $150, $200, battery backup UPS surge protectors and plug that strip into that thing.
Yeah.
And it may not like it, but at least it'll be better protection than just a crappy $20 or $30 surge protector that will work once.
Oh, God.
And really, none of those things are lightning proof. They're just lightning proof to a certain amount of joules.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In our house, it's the fact that we have copper wiring for our electrics.
Yeah, knob and tube all over the house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we lost the chest freezer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you want... I guess I'm confused. Oh, okay. Moon, you're stumbling into my day job. So, like, copper is more conductive than aluminum, so you probably do want copper wiring, but, like, what are you thinking of that as a negative?
Well, it's probably because it's copper that hasn't been replaced since, 1930, and also the fact that it's wrapped in, like
cloth
looks
wiring.
Like that kind of stuff, where it's like one little fray, and it's like, that's pure electricity running through copper. I ain't touching that at all.
Yeah. They all. That's not. I mean, it lasts for a long time, but they've gotten a lot better about melting it down and making those wires. So. Yeah. But at the same time, that is thousands and thousands of dollars to replace the electric in your home.
Yeah.
Yes, we had as part of the grand undertaking to fix our electrics, we had our fuse box replaced, because that was really old, and we had small sections of the cabling replaced, and then that was it.
Yeah, like aluminum isn't bad like modern day. Like they've gotten a lot better about making that better conductive wise. Like it used to be, so like wires, like you have your rounds or what's the word, circumference. Like if you looked at a section cut of a wire, right, you see a bunch of little strands layered on top of each other. And for aluminum, those strands used to be almost like a square, right? Mm-hmm. So you'd have these gaps in between them where it would oxidate between it. And so aluminum got a really bad reputation wiring wise up until probably the early 90s or something. They finally figured out how to make it so they didn't have those air gaps in between it and it wouldn't oxidize and ruin the thing. But it's still a less conductive cable. Like if sorry guys, my day job's going off. You can stop me anytime you want.
It's fine.
I'm riveted here.
Let's talk about garbage and ceiling, shall we? That's my shit.
So if you know that you need X amount of amps on the end of this line, the copper wire you can take to it will be a smaller wire. Like the aluminum will have to be larger because it can't conduct as much electricity.
Gotcha.
So
it's like trying to force water through a pipe.
Yeah.
Like if you're using essentially a copper wire, it can be a very narrow pipe, but if you're using aluminum, it has to be it has to be the big fat space whale kind of pipe, the thing that the internet runs on.
But aluminum is significantly less expensive than copper. So if you're ever building a building, you may want to consider aluminum for your not your branch feeders, the feeders between your breaker boxes. Anyway,
giant Ned, I love
this is what I do during the day, and it has ruined me for human interaction and walking into a room. The first thing I do when I walk into a room is look at where the lights and the receptacles are and try to predict how it gets back to the electrical box.
There you go.
Dude, I do that for driveways. Part of the thing about the company I work for does is driveway sealing and driveway repair. And literally, I used to cycle to and from work, and as I'm cycling, I'm looking at the driveways going, that's a piece of shit, that needs a repair. That's not too bad. That could do with the ceiling, but it's not too bad otherwise.
Leave my card at the door.
My mother-in-law just moved into a new house, and there's a big section of her driveway that needs a huge replacement, and it's like, that needs some serious fucking work.
Right.
I ain't fucking bringing it to my company.
Right. All right, you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. It's the third Saturday of the month, so we're here to talk about Game Club, the show where we, the three of us, play an old game with all of you, the members of the community. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier having a problem over there.
Shush. Hello, everybody.
And Musim.
Hello.
We are here this month to talk about the Talos principle. Let's break down all the details before we get started here. A game came out December 11th, 2014, and kind of came out on a platform every couple of months up until the end of 2019 when it came out on Switch. Published by fan favorite Devolver Digital, which I did not realize, but kudos to them. Developed by Crow Team, the Serious Sam company. So,
okay, that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, crazy first-person shooters, and now a series of philosophical puzzle games. Platforms came out on everything, including mobile and VR, so you have something it can play on.
Yeah.
Time Travel Metacritic 85, OpenCritic 87. Peers for the release date, we end with a very, very important peer. But we start with The Crew, Tales from the Borderlands Episode 1, which, go play that if you haven't, it's really great.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I just love that stupid game. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which is also a really great game. But lastly, and most importantly, Elite Dangerous came out on the PC.
Yeah.
All right, let's ask the question we ask every month. Top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
When it came out, this thing, everybody was talking about it. Like, I don't care who you were. Like, literally, I had nothing but people talking about this game. Like, I'd say out of everything that it came out with, Elite Dangerous was the one that was overlooked. 10 years later, Elite Dangerous is like, I don't know, all-time high.
Yeah.
But yeah, this immediately got everybody's attention. And I think it actually probably even got it before that because of the mini game that they released out on Steam beforehand, like the teaser game.
Yeah.
And also they had a public beta, I think, which was basically a let's see if these puzzle mechanics work kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a handful of puzzles.
Yeah, and everybody just started immediately talking about it. It was like, oh, look how great this game is. This game is great.
Well, I think a large part of that, too, was Crow Team was really only known for Serious Sam before there. They had tried some other stuff, but when they announced this, they're like, oh, so this is like a Serious Sam spinoff? And they're like, no. It's a first-person Android puzzle game where you figure out what it means to be a human. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
You know, it might be a Serious Sam spinoff. It depends on the condition of the world after
there's a lot
Sam
of pyramids.
is finished with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No scorpions that I could see. Yeah.
No screaming people running at you with their heads in their hands, unfortunately. Right. Although there is actually someone who screams and runs at you, so...
That's true.
Reference, little Easter egg there.
Yeah, there you go. Musim, what do you think?
I'm with you guys. It was... I mean, I feel like it was talked about before it came out, and then it was talked about when it came out and got real critical reception, and I don't know that... made any end of the year lists that year, but I feel like it was still discussed in like a lot of honorary mentions. In my head, this came out at the same time as The Witness, but it turns out it came out 2 years before The Witness.
Right. Yep. Very similar DNA.
Yeah, like
Was that a deliberate joke or reference?
No, but I'll take it.
If this is a genre of game, then maybe I should try and keep one of like roam around the island and solve puzzles and
whatever the
genre
puzzles. Is, it's 100% for me.
Yeah. I can probably only do 1 or 2 of them a year, but
yes, 100% yes.
All right, let's dive into the game itself. What we liked, what we didn't like. Who would like to kick us off?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first because this is something I had a long discussion about with my wife yesterday.
Okay.
I would prefer this to be 2 games.
Oh, interesting. Where's the split?
The split for me is give me the puzzles.
Okay.
And give me a text adventure.
Okay, interesting. You think there was too much text in the game?
not so much there was too much text in the game, more it kept on throwing me off my game. Like I ran into the world. Okay, so the basic game is split up into 3 buildings and a tower.
Right.
Don't go in the tower. # spoiler. Go in the tower.
Yeah, we are going to be spoiling story elements here for any
Yes.
listeners.
So go play it and then come listen, or don't and listen and then go play it. It's fine either way. But every time I go in, so I go in like in building A1. So I go in the room, I talk to the computer a little bit, and then I go and do the puzzles.
Yeah, because the computer's doing a bloop bloop. Bloop,
yes. So you go in and you interact with it, and you're trying to figure out what's going on with the quote unquote world.
Yes.
I go into like do that, then do all the puzzle rooms, then come out, then go into room B or room 2, A2.
Yeah.
Try and get my terminology right here.
Brute.
Talk to the computer and then go and do the puzzles. But the talking to the computer part started throwing me off.
Like you lost your flow?
Yeah, I lost like that. Oh, what it's actually called. I lost the Tetris effect.
Yes.
Where I lost that zone where I was just a puzzle solving machine.
Right.
And then I was just like, now I'm going to talk to this computer and think about philosophy and questions about my life and the choices I have made in it. And now you want me to go and connect this shiny light beam to this shiny light beam connector, and while I'm contemplating the existence of everything, it's like, come on.
Interesting.
Like, it kind of snapped me out of it a little bit. So I ended up basically doing every single puzzle room, ignoring the computers until literally the end of the game.
Bloop, bloop.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I sort of I see where you're coming from, and I feel like that has definitely happened to me in so many of these games. For some reason with Talos Principle, it really didn't. I felt like I didn't always read all of the text entries that were in there, because some of them I was getting the point, and I would rather read stuff where it's like interviews, like interactions with people and chat logs and stuff. I found those more interesting than like Osiris13.txt. But I liked getting that breather where it's like I just took care of like 7 puzzles or 8 puzzles or something. Now I'm going to go read a little bit and interact with somebody out there that give me the admin permissions, please. Just like
he is commonly referred to as Milton, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, the Milton library system.
Yeah, so everyone just calls him Milton.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of liked that breather where it's like, all right, I can kind of wind down a little bit, turn my brain off here just for half of a second, and then kind of ramp back up.
So I enjoyed that aspect of the game. I don't know that I'd want to... Like, I feel like I enjoyed it, but I would like there to be a little less of it.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Like, I feel like every time... Like, you know, if there was just one computer per area you went to, I feel like it would help. But, like, there are certain areas that have more than one. And, like, there's always... You're arguing with Milton, you know, fairly constantly, which is funny, but I just wish there was a little less of it, because I experienced the same kind of taken out of the flow of the game by doing that.
Well, and I eventually sort of came to dread coming into a new area and hearing that bloop bloop, because it's like sometimes I'm okay to read the stuff, and sometimes I just want to go do a puzzle, but I feel like it's always in the background, just sort of squawking at me.
It doesn't help that there's actually multiple terminals in certain rooms too.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, really? Number one, they have different text logs in them, so you can read different things by accessing the different machines. But then also it's like, I got away from your stupid bloop blooping, and now I can hear the stupid bloop blooping again. It's like, no.
The worst part is like when you get to a new area and you aren't thinking about it, you're like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then like get a drink, and like that's all you hear the entire time is that
from across the house,
away from the room. But like, you know, some of those areas you'll just immediately finish all 3 or 4 puzzles or whatever that they have in there.
Yeah, and
then you're just, you know, doing that in 5 to 10 minutes, and then immediately coming to another computer. Like, I wish they were more. And granted, I guess as a like. Designing it, there's no way you can predict how fast someone is going to solve one of these, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's not a fair criticism, but it'd be nice if they could be spaced more like a half hour to an hour apart, you know?
Or if they were like the QR codes in the game where you could effectively ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him. I couldn't ignore them because there was an achievement tied to the QR codes.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
I'll get that someday.
Really quick, actually, while I think about that, platform of choice?
PS4 for me.
Xbox.
Yep, Xbox here too. You are on the original Xbox, I believe, the Xbox One Museum.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
How did Moon?
I did experience frame rate drops.
Oh, I did
Okay.
too on a PS4 Pro. Like it's rough.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The X actually has the performance versus graphics check on it.
I don't know if I even looked for that.
It's
in the options.
literally, it's like so far in the menus. I was like,
Okay.
why is this game going like 3 frames a second when I'm pressing a button to go down an elevator?
Right.
It is just the elevators. Like,
Yeah.
what is so hard about it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's weird while it loads the world underneath kind of thing. I think that's
Yeah.
probably what it is. But yeah, I bumped it down from graphics to performance and it ran smooth as silk. But then
Nice.
every single time I loaded the game back up, it by default switched it back to graphics.
Great. It's
Yep.
also available on Game Pass on PC.
Yes.
If people want to go get it.
I will not be playing this game twice.
Yeah. Speaking of, I did not finish it. I got up to like C4, C3 or C4. So I got really far in before I just ran out of time. Musim and I were talking before the show. You made it to B something, B2, B3.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was it? I finished all but like one area in A. I unlocked B and went through there, and it seemed like there was one more area I found that I could do something in, or that I unlocked something, or maybe I just unlocked the first door for it. But then I found that one room with where you needed the star pieces to get in, I guess.
Yep.
And that made me want to go back and
Yep.
get I really enjoy the puzzle solving in this. Like, I wasn't sure what I'd think of it at first, but anyway, no, I didn't do that, and then I went and read the kind of story summary online and hoped you guys wouldn't get too mad at me.
No, I had to watch the ending just because I got so close and I think I was doing really well on the game until you got the tool for recording, and that's where I sort of started. The game's difficulties ramped up fairly significantly.
Yep.
Yeah. Moon, did you get all the way through?
Yeah, and I may or may not have gotten all 3 endings.
There you go. Pretty
Because
cool endings.
as I often do when it comes to puzzle games like this, I check out an achievement guide, try and see if I can mainline it in one playthrough.
Right.
If I can, I try and do that. If not, I resign myself to playing it more than once and then deal with it. There is a reason I haven't started The Witness yet. I don't want that nightmare in me at all.
There's only one semi-challenging achievement in The Witness.
Yeah, but there's also that whole end section where you've got to do all of the puzzles all at once, and they're completely random, and you have a time limit to do them.
It's not as bad as it seems.
No, maybe not for you, but that would mean I would have to literally just play The Witness to keep my gears and wits sharp about it. But no, I checked it out, and one of the side notes of me not playing with the computers too much was actually your responses to the computers matter towards the ending.
Yeah.
So you can get like there's 5 or 6 different variations of the ending,
Right.
but there is essentially 3 main endings. So I naturally flew through the game, did all of the puzzles. Like I think I referred to a guide, like a video guide for like 5 puzzles in total.
Yeah, I did for a handful. Like especially, there was one puzzle. One of the things I really like about Talos Principle is when you get a new skill, or new equipment, whatever you want to call it, or you get into a new area. I really like that there isn't one tutorial puzzle. It isn't like, oh, you just got the refracting crystal thing. Do this one puzzle to learn how to use it, then you can do these other 7 ones. It's sort of like, you got this tool, here are all the ones that, has a little symbol under it. Kind of go crazy. Like, you can use whatever you want, and usually the first area or two areas is going to show you how to use that tool in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
The only time I got tripped up with that is when you get the recording clone thing. One of the
it throws a wrench in everything because it's just like am I doing it the right way? Am I supposed to do this, or is my recording supposed to do this?
And then like the thing that tripped me up is really early on I didn't know that you can make two copies of an item. So like you can carry a box and your clone can carry a box. So this one puzzle where there were light beams coming through, both you and your clone had to block them at the same time, by standing on a box. And I'm just like, well, how are both of us supposed to have this box? And I watch a video and I was like 30 seconds in, I was like, oh, we both have the, oh, okay, cool. And then it's sort of off on the races on that.
They actually use the puzzle mechanics in this game are exceptional. Like there are some really, really well designed puzzles, the logic and stuff around it. I would recommend you keep playing. Like have this game be your game for the rest of the year of this type of game, because you like at the very start of the game there's the crisscross level where it's two different colored lasers and they have to cross over each other to basically hit 2 points, but they cancel each other out if they touch. So you have to like put one in a box and raise it up to kind of get it to go. There is one in C which is crisscrossed advanced, and it's in like C5 or C6.
Yep.
And it's insane the way you have to do that exact thing. It's basically the same concept, except you're using the recording tool to get a clone of yourself and all of the other items to try and time it just right so you can crisscross over everything. It's really great and really hard at the same time.
One of my favorites was I love the light beams. I think that stuff was always really great. And one of my favorites was I think it was in one of the really late levels in B, or it was early in C. There was like this really long twisty path with a receiver on the end of it, and you basically had to get everything all set up so that you can put one of those refracting things on a box on a fan to have it go way up high so that it can get over the walls at the right angle to the receiver and open up the end. It's just like, God, this game is so good.
Yeah. Like when they do puzzles like that, I'm like, okay, now you get the concept of stick this receiver, connect it to everything, stick it on a box and turn the fan on.
Yep.
Now you get that concept. Here is another degree of separation.
Here, put it on top of a box and then put two more boxes under it so you can get the receiver as high up as you can possibly get it.
Yep. It takes those concepts and it really does push it to the limit. Yep. Looping back around really quick to the stars. Some of those stars are insane.
Yeah.
So for the record, achievement collector over here, I literally have every achievement in Talos Principle. All I have to do is do the Genhama DLC stuff, which is included with the Game Pass version of the game.
Okay, yeah, I have the deluxe edition on PS4, so it comes with the Gehenna DLC as well.
So I have to do that still, but I beat Talos Principle base game entirely, including all 30 stars, including the secret star rooms, including the messenger portals.
I did one of the messenger portals
so
myself.
So much stuff in this game.
Yeah, when I unveiled, because in C you like go down at the end of a dark hallway and there's just an axe there. I was like, okay, well I'm gonna pick up this axe. I'm gonna see what I can do with it. And then I went in the first messenger place. It's like, okay, like what else is in this game? This game is so stupid big. Like, come on. And then once I picked up the axe, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So now I remember two other places I can take this axe to go do other stuff. It's like, oh, okay. Yep. All right, Talos Principle. I like it.
But yeah, some of the stars get particularly ridiculous because, like, for example, I think it's the Up High, which is the name of the first level where you have to put the laser connector on the box to get it really high. In one of the stars in that world, it's like A or B. You have to then complete that puzzle, go to a different puzzle, and use a receiver in that puzzle to connect to that receiver that you put in the air in a different puzzle.
Between puzzles,
to unlock the star. And it's like, they do this, like, all of the different zones have them in, where it's like, now, solve this riddle using a receiver that's in the sky from a puzzle that you've solved. but figure out where it needs to connect to, because we're not going to just show you one of the things. It's just like, okay, sure. Why
I've been waiting to find like the puzzles that go beyond the rooms, because I just know it's there. Because like, I mean, you can hear. Speaking of the annoying beeping sound, I have been in like you can hear the computers in the other rooms sometimes in those puzzle rooms. I've noticed, and like, you know, the Witness blurred those lines like almost from the get-go, but like I just knew with the vast environment they give you to walk around that there has to be like lots of weird little cool
you're like side-eyeing the
stuff.
game where it's like, what else is in here?
There is. And the thing,
should I walk towards that mountain range over there?
Right.
You'll know you've gone too far if it starts to talk about the words being the world and I am the words. That's your
Trust
trigger
in the
of
words.
Yes.
Oh, right. I did run into that.
Yeah.
So, really quick, I will give this game mad props for having an immaculate progress tracker.
Yes.
Every single room has the sign outside that tells you exactly what's in that room, including secret stars.
Yep.
And tells you exactly which one you've got, because it just paints a little crossover.
Yep.
Like, nope,
and it tells you what equipment you need, what color the Tetramino you're going to get is, like, and the game tells you when you pick up a new color, like, oh, you picked up your first green one. Here are all the rest of the pieces you need for, let's say, C, and this is exactly what it goes to, and that's always on your screen.
It's a really good tracker. Like, the star rooms are insane. I'm just going to mention that straight off the bat. Like,
I watched some of those, and it's just like, oh, cool, this seems virtually impossible. But, like, you'll get it after enough time. It's one of those great things in puzzle games where you walk into a room, and a lot of times in this, you walk into a room and you sort of look around, and you're like, all right, I think I sort of get where it's going. And then like 20 minutes later, you finish the puzzle. It's like, number one, I was an idiot. That initial idea was totally wrong. Number two, that puzzle was really great. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Like, speaking of the outside of the room stuff, the C-star room, there is one puzzle. I'm not kidding. When you have to solve a puzzle outside of the puzzle room, to take something into the puzzle room and then use that to solve the puzzle room.
Yeah.
It's specifically, it's an axe, and it's something you didn't know you could do with the axe until you happen to need to do it in this one puzzle. And it's just like, okay, sure,
right.
Why not?
Right.
Gosh, it's funny how it works. Like you walk into, I remember it was the electrical switch, right? Because my eyes were just not differentiating that switch from the wall. And I'm like, how in the heck am I supposed to get past this puzzle? And like, I had to leave and come back. And when I came back, I finally was like, oh, there's something here. And like, I feel like this game has a lot of elements like that where you don't realize you can interact with something at all.
Yeah, like the game is expecting you to look for the yellow electrical wire that's running from a thing to a box. And it's like, oh, well, all right, if I was looking for it, I guess I would have. It felt very much like The Witness, where it's like, oh, the solution is literally in front of me. I just sort of have to like think about it a little bit differently.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of that fascinating thing where I'm wondering if it's partly a generational thing of like growing up with games with less possibilities for interaction. So I'm immediately going in and looking for the limitations of the game, so I can just ignore the rest of reality as potential for puzzle solving.
Yeah, and that's something that pops up when you're doing the star hunting too, because I didn't think at any point to myself to jump on top of walls inside of a level.
Yep.
And you can jump on top of walls inside of levels to get you to like secret stars or solve this puzzle, or because you're trained, like you said, you're trained from being very young kid. These are the walls. You can't go over them. You've tried to jump over them already. You know that's not going to happen.
Go through them.
Every wall is going to be the same.
Yep.
It's not. There are certain walls you can jump on, certain walls you can walk on.
Yep.
And it just gets insane.
Well, and I mean, there's even that one puzzle. I think it's early on in B, where you have to put a box on top of one of those orb things that explode and ride it to another platform. It's just like,
holy crap.
Yeah, it's like, why did I not even think? And then you're like juggling boxes on top of a set of exploding balls.
You're doing like the floor is lava with like mines that are moving backwards and forwards, and you're on a box, putting a box down, then hopping onto that box and picking the box on you were just on, and then turning around and dropping it on a different bomb. It's just...
And it's one of those things where it's like, you eventually, the game forces you eventually to kind of make your brain a little more malleable, because like the first time I was running into it, I feel like the majority of A is fairly straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get into B, there was like that hallway of death level. That was the first time where it's like, all right, this game is gonna expect a little bit more of me than I think I was expecting. And it's just this hallway of like one of those exploding balls, a box, and like 6 or 7 of those guns on the wall. No matter what you do, you cannot get a jammer through that stuff. And the real solution is just put it on a box so you go up the ladder and you can grab it from on top of the ladder and just carry it over to the other side. And like, and it's just like, okay, cool. Yeah, like we were talking about Professor Layton recently. You know, like putting the 2 corks up the guy's nose to stop the smell from happening. It feels very much like that, where it's like, yeah, you don't go through the hallway of death because it's going to kill you. You use your tools to go around it. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You jerk.
Like,
it's great.
It's funny as well because they teach you things at the start, like if you need 2 jammers past this door, you just use those 2 jammers to jam the door from both sides to carry it, so you essentially lock yourself in. They still use that mechanic all the way to the end of the game, and the amount of times I forgot that I could do that, it's like, how do I solve this? Oh, wait, I've got 2 jammers. I can just...
And then it comes around at the very end during the co-op section, where it's like, right, I need to help this other person through with a jammer so that he can jam it so that both of us can get through. And it's just like, okay. All right. This game is really great. I feel like this is one of the first games in a while here on the show that I genuinely wish we had more time for, just because...
Dude, I've played nothing other than this week, and my section tomorrow is going to be real short.
Yeah, it's going to be, listen to this episode. But I wish we had more time for this, just so more of us could play more of it. Because I think it is something... I know a lot of people compared this game a lot to Portal, which I think is completely wrong. I mean, they're both puzzle games, but... The amount of content in Talos Principle is just incredible. Like, every time you go up to an ABC, and it's just like, all right, they give you like one of those little flowchart maps where it's like, here's A, and then 7 sections, and each one has 5 to 7 puzzles. It's like, oh, I need to do all of those. Okay, all right, let's tuck in. Yeah, Talos Principle is really good.
It's an awesome game. It's I will definitely keep playing it.
Yeah, I hope so, because like it's really fun. Like, I got a little bit frustrated with it this week, and that's mostly because I was doing my best to get to the end of the game before the show, so I could talk about going all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm not kidding when I say I've been coming home, I've been watching a CWDC show, watching an episode of that while I eat,
right,
and then literally playing the Talos Principle. Like, from that time till bedtime, it's just Talos Principle. I need to solve these puzzles and get through it. And it's like, yeah, okay, I can look at this 30-second guide on how to do this level in 30 seconds, or I can spend 10 minutes bashing my head against it and then figure it out. So I went through the figure it out route, and it was like, it's one of those things where it never made me feel dumb.
Right.
Like, because you do get some puzzle games, like, that's something Professor Layton does. Like, particularly badly.
Yeah, it's like, how was I supposed to know that? Like, why would you expect me to know that?
Yeah, like, it never makes you feel stupid for not knowing the solution.
Right.
But at the same time, I think you can feel smart for completing them, but it never gives you that proper sense of, I'm a genius for figuring this out. It's like,
I did it.
It's like, no, I figured out the best way to kind of work around the rules that I've got and do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And in other situations, just like, I wouldn't have got that star in a million years. Why is that hidden that way?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to beam this beam off the side of this map to lead it literally around the rest of the map to beam it into a different level so I can go through that level and then do that. It's like, I wouldn't have figured that out.
Or the one you have to fall off of the tower to get.
Yep. The leap of faith one. Yep. That's another one that's just like, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So I forgot. I think I glitched out a puzzle in Section A, but solved it.
Oh,
so
nice.
I don't remember the exact setup, but it was one of the beam of lights where you had to charge the thing and get the final door to open. And I couldn't figure out how to do it or get the right heights on the thing, but I could get it to do it for a couple seconds. And so I got myself in and got the puzzle piece, and then it locked me in there. And then I hit the reset puzzle button, and it still gave me the puzzle piece, and I left.
Yep,
Nice.
they will. Most of the puzzle pieces will unlock like a different door, like a door will come down.
Yeah, like
if
a
you
gate
pick up the
or
actual
something.
piece.
Yeah.
But there are
and I think they intended me to have this door permanently open, is why there was not an exit in this one.
But yeah, there are some levels that are like that where it's just like this door will open for a fraction of a second. I hope you quick.
Right.
It's like, okay, sure, why not? But yeah, so I did all the puzzles, literally all of the puzzles.
Yep.
I did all of the different endings.
The bad ending is sort of a bummer. I wish.
Which is the bad ending?
The bad ending is the one where you.
Is this the big door ending?
It's the very first big door ending where like you go up to heaven and he says like, well, you did a great job. Like, thank you for being so faithful. You're gonna be a messenger for other people going through this.
Nope, that's not the messenger. But yeah, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about you get all the sigils, you go through the big door, and basically you are granted eternal life.
Right.
And it comes through this like checklist as it's going.
Yep.
And it's like,
and you fail one of them.
These are the tests, and specifically, it's the child independence check.
Yep. That's the bad
that
ending.
You fail.
And I wish the game would sort of say like, that's not the ending. Like, go get back in there.
Just go and collect all these 30 stars, which are hidden in the most bonkers, crazy places possible.
Right.
Then go into the star rooms and get all of the gray sigil pieces.
Right.
And then solve the mystery of how to get to the tower floor 6.
Yep.
Which gives you another ending, which I think is the middle ending.
I think so. Yeah. The one where you do the co-op stuff, that's the best ending.
Yes, the middle ending is the one where you get to the tower level 6, and when you do that ending, you basically go through. You solve this puzzle, you go through a portal, and then basically you get inserted into a messenger tomb, which.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Which is basically some of the messengers are the secret levels where you use the axe to break open the door to go in. And it's like a nice, simple little puzzle that you solve. And then basically it's a help system.
Yep.
So then you can use those little pedestals on each level.
Oh, this is with the QR code thing, huh?
Yes. So you go in, if you unleash a messenger from his tomb, you get one ticket to help. And then you can go in, and if you're really stuck on a level, you interact with this like little, looks like an altar, basically like a little wall-mounted altar.
Yeah.
Interact with that, and then this messenger will teleport in, put a QR code on there saying, "Are you sure you want to use it? Because you only get like 3 of these, dude. Are you 100% sure you want this?" You say yes, and then he'll give you a hint about how to beat that level.
I like that the messengers have their names are from your friends list too.
Mine weren't, because nobody on my friends list played this game.
Mine was, I woke up my first messenger and it's like, here's Slick Nick version 1.0 point something something. I was like, hey, that's cool.
That could also mean that he did the messenger ending.
Yeah, possibly.
And that allowed him to show up that way, because
that's true.
You also get to choose an epitaph, which whenever you go into one of the messenger's tombs, there's 3 pedestals written behind.
Yep.
I had to choose it. Every single sigil beat that with my epitaph.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good ending. Like I like the bad ending. I think is cool because it's the whole clouds, and it's like, congratulations, we're gonna delete you now, but we're gonna tweak the next versions.
Right. It's like It's like the stereotypical heaven. You got the pearly gates and the beautiful stuff, and a really nice computer.
Yeah, but then it's like, we're gonna like just tweak the things that we think about you that are wrong, and then see if the next version can get it right, which is to rebel, to go up the tower. And then you get the good angel and the bad angel, which I like. The cooperative levels with the AI who's just running around and doing stuff. And so what did you guys do with the computer, out of curiosity?
What do you, which computer?
The computer that you talk to.
Oh, for Milton?
Yes, because at a certain point, he gives you some choices.
Mm-hmm.
And you can basically the way the game treats it is the voice in the sky is God, and whatever is living on the computer is Satan. Is the way it
Right.
talks about it.
Yep.
It even refers to the computer as the serpent. So
and like the God's voice is Elohim, so it's like,
which is I think is that Jewish for God, is it?
yeah, it's all like part of the interesting thing. Like Talos is Greek, if I remember correctly. Like all of this stuff is all the religious mythologies throughout human history.
Yeah, and there's the whole what is a being, what is a person, are you a person, what is reality, so on and so forth.
And then the backstory of what happened to the humans in the world and why we're doing this.
In particular, the audio logs are really cool for that, like listening to the lead AI designer.
Man, I think whoever did that voice acting did a really, really great job. Like, I think Elohim's voice acting was pretty good. It was very much like, I'm doing my God voice, which you're doing for a reason. But I thought her voice acting was really great.
Yeah, like it's really well told, fantastic story. Little bit annoying sometimes with the whole, like, literally slamming you in the face with the whole religious and, symbology and all that kind of stuff.
I think as a means to an end, because I think once you realize that as part of the AI growing out of the bonds that have been put on it, I think that makes sense from a story perspective, where it's like you have to rebel against this person because the AI that you're trying to generate by going through these puzzles needs to rebel to evolve.
Yeah.
And I think the ending, while it was short and not any longer if you get the cat ending,
which one's the cat ending?
Basically the ending turns into the cover art from the game where as you come out of the bunker, and like it shows you the giant building that you're in, you're holding the white cat from the cover.
Okay, because for that ending I took Milton with me to be my conscience.
Interesting.
He even, because when you get up to, it's funny, when you get to the messenger ending, you just go into a tomb. When you get to the bad ending, you go to an old computer.
Yep.
When you get to the good ending, it's a widescreen HD display. You could very clearly see the difference on.
It's a very nice computer.
It's a light up touch keyboard.
Yep.
And at that point, I had the option to download Milton and take him with me because I had made a deal with him that if I went to the tower and if I escaped, I was going to take him with me.
Yeah, I probably would have done that too.
He describes himself as it's basically we're all programming language. We're just going to merge into one kind of thing because we've always been a part of each other anyway. And you talk to him and you have this little conversation with him. It's like, well, how will I know when you're there? And he's like, I'll be that voice in the back of your head that when you decide you want to do something, I'll be the person, the little voice that says, why? Why would we do that? And it's like this really nice little nod. So I think maybe if you don't take him with you, you probably get the cat ending would be my guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think the ending is really great, and I wish there was more to talk about with Talos Principle, but it is a really great puzzle game that, like you said, Moon, it just takes all of its mechanics and stretches them to their maximum. It never stretches them thin, but I think it stretches them all the way to their maximum so that by the time you're done with one new tool, you've kind of mastered the version of that, and now you can combine that and create new tools by using 2 or 3 or 4 of them at the same time. Yeah.
As a quick shout out, the voice actress for the IT lady is a woman named Erin Fitzgerald. While I remember audio-wise, Musum, what did you think of the choir sounds?
Well, I mean, they had you had the choir sounds, but you also had the kind of chime arpeggiated kind of bell sounds that is fairly typical with the island puzzles.
Right.
I feel like it's what I would expect out of a puzzle game music. So I'd looked up who did it, and I can't say the man's name. I'm just going to butcher it because it looks like Dam Jam Mravanuk.
Okay, so Eastern European, in
Something
the middle
like
of the
that.
Holy Land kind of area.
And like he did music for the Serious Sam games, and he evidently did some.
Talk about a flip.
He did some video stuff for some cinematics too for Serious Sam, and I thought I saw something in here on level design as well.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, he did level design also for Serious Sam. So multiple hats guy, but
yeah.
Overall, I felt like he provided a. Gosh, I'm gonna say this and it's sound like an insult, and it's not. He provided a very functional soundtrack.
Yeah, it was very in keeping with the tone of the game, which is like we said earlier, the religious iconography of the whole thing. Second I load that game up, all I'm thinking about is church.
Right. Well, it was never really an overbearing soundtrack either. Like I never felt like I was distracted from trying to figure out a puzzle by the soundtrack.
Yeah. And you don't want like a song like I know a lot of people's takeaway from soundtracks is, oh, this is a song I want to play regularly outside of that. But you don't want that for a puzzle game where you may potentially be in an area and hearing the song that you want on your stereo like over and over again for half an hour. Like you don't want that at all. You want kind of something spacey, something that maybe pokes at your brain a little bit, but you don't quite realize it's there, in my opinion.
The voice actress, like, you two have probably heard this woman thousands of times and not even realized it.
I immediately recognize that name. I think she's been in every JRPG.
Yep. Catherine full body version, Tales of Vesperia, World of Warcraft, BlazBlue, Boruto, she's in anime, Horizon Zero Dawn, she's in Nier Automata, For Honor, Danganronpa. Like, she's in literally everything, it looks like.
Yeah, as soon as you said that name, I was like, yeah, that checks out. She's really good. All right, any final thoughts we have here for the Talos Principle?
It's a pretty good game. I personally was annoyed by it a little bit, but that's mostly because like I thought I could. I thought I played a lot of it until I realized how little of it I'd actually played as this show approached.
Yep.
Like I literally got the achievement for like the final ending that I needed, like 10 minutes before I came up here.
Nice. Congratulations.
Like, great. Now I'm just gonna do Genhammer and then uninstall.
Yeah. Normally for these game club stuff, I'm like trying to finish the game the last week, and this week I'd planned to do similar, but I knew since it was a puzzle game and entirely reliant on my brain to decipher puzzles that I probably wasn't going to finish it, and then I realized I had plans every single night this week. And that never happens, and I'm sorry, but it's I really like the game. I think especially not played under time constraints. I think it's highly enjoyable, and chances like I feel like there's a decent chance you can already play this game through something, whether you're a Game Pass member or whether you've received it through PS Plus at some point, or something.
It's on mobile, like it.
Yeah. And I feel like it's worth your time if you like The Witness. I feel like you will like this game. I think that's a good enough barometer.
Or if you haven't played a ton of puzzle games and you're looking for something that's kind of meaty, I think this is a really good choice.
Meaty but not obtuse. Like there's nothing about it where it deliberately is like, haha, fooled ya.
Right.
Do it
feels very fair. Pretty much the whole way through.
Yeah. And I did feel pretty smart, like doing several of those puzzles. And like there are times where like you'll just do a whole bunch in a row and they won't particularly be easy. You've just hit the plane of finally understanding the mechanics they're throwing at you. So I like it. I will continue to play it. It's probably going to be a game that I stretch out throughout the year where I just play it once a week or something.
Honestly, I would, because it's well worth it, because when you get to the end, some of those puzzles are mind-bogglingly complicated.
Yeah.
And then you solve it and you're just like, oh, that was great.
Yeah. Got another Tetramino. Yeah.
All
right, well, let's talk about our next game chosen by you, the patrons,
I know what it
patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. We do this every other month, and now that we're back from our holiday vacation, we're back on the schedule. So you, the patrons, have chosen super tight race again, but coming out ahead just a couple days ago, This Is the Police 2.
Yep, I may or may not have voted for this to make sure it won.
There we go.
Because I needed to.
Came out on PC, OS X, Xbox One, PS4, Linux, and Switch. So I have been waiting to play this game for it to come up on Game Club, and
me too.
I cannot wait to hop into this game, and boy, do I have high expectations for a game that has radically changed the gameplay. So
yep.
I
don't know how I feel because I loved This Is the Police. Like, I genuinely adore the first one. It was an amazing game.
It
so
was
fun. It was ridiculous.
So I've never played the first one. Mm-hmm. So this will be interesting if I like it and you guys hate it.
Yeah, it has added some stuff that I think I believe is optional, which might serve in the game's favor, but I
do remember that stuff being called optional.
Yeah. So I'm very curious. Both Moon and I really loved the first one, so there's some expectations here on the second one. So we'll meet on the third Saturday of next month to talk about This Is the Police 2.
Really quick.
Yes.
What's this on?
I already just said. PC, OS X, Xbox One, PS4, Linux, and Switch.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just looked up prices, and it appears to be in the $15 range for most platforms.
Yeah, the prices have gotten slashed over the months here too. So, and I haven't heard any problems on any platforms. So, I don't think there's anything any to avoid. So we will meet next month to talk about This Is the Police 2. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you for watching the live stream or the video. Bye.